All right, hello again. We are all back for the first time in a while. There was an internet connection problem, so now I'm starting the stream all over again for everyone out there to enjoy and to see. Since, yes, there was a little error, but now we've got that error out of the way. We are starting again. We are moving again because that is what we are here to do. Yes, yes, yes. And maybe human is in the chat. That is great to see there. Yes. Oh, maybe human showed up in the chat, and then boom, it happened. It started. It went. It faltered. So now let's get this guy. Ah, yes. Ah, we are back. Don't worry about it. First time that's happened in a long time. Hey. And Helen Grunow says her eyebrows will wait. So there we go. I'm also going to re-put the link to my Square store back in. Yes, I now repinned the link to my Square store at the top of the chat for everyone. Now I see we've got Christopher in, Gilded Gearhead, and Nick and Helen Grunow. Let's see if Huron comes back. Let's see if Relentless comes back. How many of the people were in there? And I finally was able to get Elliot Rodriguez to come back and do a stream, and then this happens because, and Puma Fist is also back because I'm pretty sure this is just part of the comedy of errors I have to deal with. Right as I was talking about how the Signal, the Suburban Collection show place where they hold the Motor City Comic Con, they purposefully go and screw with it. So they screw around with their internet connection in there. So even on data, the more and more foot traffic that's in there, the harder and harder it gets. So, and I've seen how Anna, that Star Wars girl, I've seen it with her when she's there at like a MegaCon in Orlando, where there's an internet problem and she has to start the stream over again. So if anything, this is just me dealing with what is going on in this world. And Puma Fist, yes, maybe Human is right and Puma Fist did this just to punish me. And I remember the night where I was finally going to get past 1,000 subscribers, there was somebody in one chat who joked about, you're really tempting me to go and intentionally unsubscribe and get your channel banned. And I said, don't even fucking joke about that with me. I've been up since 9 in the morning, networking to try to get over this threshold. Don't even seriously try to joke like that. I'm not in that kind of mood. I went to the point where the mental and like physical anguish, I think, that at the end of the day of finally being able to get over 1,000 subs and stay over 1,000 subs was the end of the day just a sack of potatoes, just completely just collapsed mentally. Yes, mentally and physically. There's somebody who really just consistently shit talks me when they see me in CG streams. So that is where a situation I would just want the fist would be fucking thrown at that moment, at that kind of mental state I was in. And whom else? Right, Jonathan Rosignol also in the chat. Holler there. And now that we are starting over, we are doing a take 2. I want to give everyone another, once again, that's coming in, a little check of the new pieces that are for sale in my store, in my Square store. The link is pinned at the top of the chat, and it's also in the description below, of Valeria from Conan in pen and ink and color. Pen and ink, $25, color pieces, $20. And all these I'll show you are in the pop culture illustrations and pop culture color drawing categories of my store. Anybody has any further memories of Dragon's Lair, the game? Here's Princess Daphne from Dragon's Lair right here in her pen and ink glory. And then here in her glory as a princess in color. Then we've got the Lady of the Lake from The Witcher, yes, with her strategically placed hair over the sword. Then there's her right here, strategically placed over the sword with the hair, and it's also in color. And here is the color version of Zev that we're doing tonight. Yes, you'll see the weird insectoid kind of layers of her tight little outfit with all those little dots on there, the little patterns. They're almost like a leopard print almost. I just did those by hand with a little marker in there. Getting the piece back in here. And I'm also rendering those by hand as well. So there we are for you all to see and enjoy. because we got plenty of lovely ladies coming in. Yes, Puma Fist just might be a bad boy. I don't know if Puma Fist has ever received the proper spanking, but maybe his mother will show up and do that. Or, I mean, he's down in Florida. The hurricane that was coming through, that's probably punishment enough. And also, I'd like to reiterate for posterity, yes, maybe in the future, when it comes to those who are getting complimentary pieces for their birthday, like Christopher and Nick are receiving, both of them are going to be there Thursday. That is because, yes, they both have been longtime loyal subscribers, loyal mods, as well as those in my store. They've been donations or commissions or all that. Or actually, Christopher's more all of those sketchbooks you see me use, all the ones that are handmade sketchbooks. Yeah, those are ones that he sends me. That's his big thing. He hasn't really bought anything. It's more of an example of sending me those sketchbooks. Those are the real pieces. That's the big thing that comes in. And because, it was Nick who asked during a video premiere a while back of, those sketchbooks you have, they look like they're made. And what did I make for him? Of course, I did one that was of Arnold. Yes, that's a very unique kind of supplies that he sends me. That's the things like the Bristol board here, the Strathmore 300 series smooth Bristol board, the 11x17, the 11x14. Those are ones that it's a mix and match of either, there have been people who have sent me supply of it before, or I'll just go and buy it. And you can get the Amazon does have a good deal for them if you have the Prime account, which of course I do. Which of course means I'm able to watch Thursday Night Football. And also there's the Kids in the Hall reboot on there. But now that we're getting into October, yes, I did draw Arnold, even though, Nick, you did misspell Schwarzenegger. I don't really know how to properly spell it either. I just see the name on billboards or, billboards or posters. And when I try to type it in, it actually winds up, I always misspell it. And Google actually has the autocorrect for the proper pronunciation, the proper way of spelling Schwarzenegger, which is great to see. That's nice to know. There's the... yes, Christopher. Yeah, I drew the Arnold bulge. And also, Ian, here, maybe Human suggests Arnold, not even Arnold knows how to spell his last name. Sometimes I don't even know how to spell my last name. Yes, I can relate to that. And Helen Grinow says Arnold was the best man at her friend's wedding. Helen Grinow's her friend's dad, Paul Graham, at his wedding. The best man was Arnold, the Austrian oak. Yes, it is like coming, going to a wedding. You feel the pump. It is like having sex with a woman and coming. I get the feeling of coming when I'm at the gym. I get the feeling of coming when I'm alone, when I'm on stage, and I pump up, posing in front of 3,000 people. I get the feeling of coming, and then I am coming day and night. That's terrific. And then imagine how in heaven I am. Yes. I even saw a little clip. There's that one channel, Movie Clips. They have one of the first real film role that Arnold had, Stay Hungry, where he won a Golden Globe for Best Newcomer with Jeff Bridges and Sally Field. And the clip I saw is something where Arnold's, of course, playing a bodybuilder, and he's having this argument scene with Jeff Bridges. But while they're walking and talking before Arnold goes up on stage to pose, he's getting oiled up by his assistant, and his assistant is a very pre-Nightmare on Elm Street Robert Englund. Yes, Robert Englund in a very rare role of being yes, it was one of the Robert Englund roles before he got Freddy Krueger. But yes, it's a million miles away from Freddy. So, if you thought how out of place he was compared to Freddy Krueger on that miniseries V, try seeing him as a guy and oiling up dudes at a bodybuilding show. Oh yeah, you look like something Michelangelo carved up. So how about I do a little carving myself? And slices his hand through a guy's throat or something. Now, I'm here to pump you up. And I mean pump it up into my mouth. Could you imagine how in heaven I am? Or imagine Arnold as Freddy Krueger. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah,
Bombs away, Batman! Freeze in hell, Batman! Kill them! Kill the heroes! The icy cold of space. At 11,000 feet, your heart will freeze and beat no more. Aha! You have 11 minutes to thaw the bird, so what are you going to do? Chase the villain or save the boy? Ha ha! Your emotions make you weak. That's why this day is mine. I'll kill you next time. The bit I liked is he makes the big ice wall behind him, but then he wipes away the mist and waves at Batman before running away. Yes, that's the little bit he waves before running away. That always tickled me. Why do you do that to me, Batman? Yes. What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. One more. And the weird thing about Batman and Robin with Mr. Freeze, it's not just that they made him so pun crazed and so goofy, but it's the fact that they wanted to really eat their cake and have it too by making him all goofy like he's straight out of the 60s show, but then give him the sad backstory of the cartoon from the 90s, where it's all about avenging his wife, as played by that one swimsuit. She was a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. At the time, she was I think Swiss. She went by one name with a V, whose name escapes me. Vendel, I think. Vendela. Yes, Vendela was her name. Vendela. Yes, there was her, and also Elle Macpherson as Batman, as Bruce Wayne's girlfriend. And I've never seen that, but Nick tells me the Sub-Zero movie, the one that it was a straight-to-video cartoon movie, Sub-Zero, that was supposed to come out around the summer, but they pushed it out to like spring 98 because of the bad reaction of Batman and Robin. They pushed it into like spring 98 so they would avoid association. They wanted it originally to be associated with the Batman and Robin. Then it was so bad, they decided, no thanks. But, I completely understand why. They do that, and then the Sub-Zero's this way, but the Batman and Robin that way. They did not want this way to be associated with that way, and I understand their way. And yay to Huron of Alexandria coming back in. Yes, the maybe human with the Batman and Robin being so terrible. Batman and Robin with the built-in skates, and they play hockey with a diamond. It's the hockey tee from hell. And hey, the NHL season is starting up, so it's fitting that I bring that up during the hockey team from hell talk. I mean, yes, I know Batman is always uber prepared, but the point of having built-in ice skates in his shoes, that's I think that might be a bridge too far. What do you think out there, ladies and gentlemen? And also, yes, Guilty, Huron, if you want to go and reiterate for the chat, yes, Nick, I am a father of the Detroit Red Wings. Michigan, when it comes to college hockey, you don't really get to see college hockey that frequently unless it's during the playoffs, and then it's on ESPN. So that's why the NHL, you get to see that, as soon as the season's going, you get to see it. And yeah, during my my illness last April with the whole thing with the flu and all that, I did go and get I did sit tight with the NHL playoffs, and that helped me recover, I would say. So yeah, although the Red Wings have been terrible in the past few years, when from like the early 90s onwards, they were always in the playoffs. But now they've collapsed monumentally, and they've been a team where we're just glad to see them not be with a losing record. So in that case, it's a matter of I still follow the Red Wings, though. It's like there was somebody recently who saw me with my Beverly Hills Cop jacket on and thought, you're still following the Lions even after what happened last week? Well, for this season with the Lions, they may be losing, but if you actually watch the games like I have, you'll see the Lions, they may lose, but it's always a competitive kind of loss. They make the team work for their win. There's And on the Batman TV show, the Bat Shark Repellent was a bridge too far as well. But Nick does love the Sub-Zero movie, and he has the whole animated series on Blu-ray. Yes, the portrayal of Robin on the animated series is also something they did really well. I would say that. And Huron is correct about me being Detroit down to the bone. And Huron has no loyalty to LA teams. Well, that's a thing about when it comes to the LA sports teams. Even the people who live in LA, they aren't really loyal to the sports teams unless they're winning. Look at the Lakers when they were in a big slump in the 90s. The only guy there was Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson was like the one guy who'd be there all by his lonesome in the 90s when they were collapsing. And then suddenly they got Shaq and Kobe and they were getting the three-peat. Then suddenly you saw all the big celebrities coming to the games. No. And especially in like certain years, certain run where the Lakers have been choke artists, you'll notice things like celebrities that you would expect to see at a Lakers game instead are going to the Houston Rockets. Like that time where they had Amelia Clark was for courtside at a Houston Rockets game, and they did a thing where they had their mascot stopped and then bowed to her, and the whole audience, everybody in the crowd started going, ah. But that's something, New York and LA sports teams, they only love them when they're winning, except for maybe like a certain team that's in a more blue-collar area, like the New York Mets. Like they tend to get more people following them than like in Manhattan, like the Yankees or the who else? The Rangers in hockey or the Giants. You tend to see them, and there's an awful lot of empty seats if they're not playoff contenders. Well, that's one of the things I hated about last year's hockey playoffs. They would not shut up about the Rangers being in the playoffs. You could have sworn it was the second coming of Christ because they had the Lakers and they had the Rangers in the playoffs. And on the opposite end of that, the Lions, if snow or shine, rain or shine. And remember, the deeper you get into the NFL season, the shittier the weather. So it becomes, downtown Detroit becomes a tundra. It becomes a winter wonderland, whether you like it or not. Yet, it is always a sellout crowd. It is always crowded at those games. And when it comes to, yes, the New York equivalent to the Lakers with the Knicks, if they're not in the playoffs, you pretty much see Spike Lee there, and that's about it. He'll be there courtside, and there's nothing else. And here, maybe Human says that there's something wrong with the proportions of her breast. It's just the way she is standing at the angle, this one breast being more in profile, it would be anyone else. Yeah. And Guilty Gearhead wants to know, is the stream fuzzy for anyone else? Well, that's a problem with that's just my camera goes in and out of focus. It's a 4K camera, but the auto, if I move around too much, then it suddenly goes in with, then the camera blurs. That's, and then you have to wait or like move your hand somewhere else to focus back in. But yes, the way the Lakers are with the Stephanie McMahon-like ownership of Miss Jeannie Buss and how they've been choking. Yeah, no wonder you've got celebrities you think you would see at Laker games are now going to the Houston Rockets. And there is the mascot bowing to the mother of dragons. And well, hey, you all know about me. You know what I've said, how I'd give anything to go down on Amelia Clark for at least 10 minutes. 10 minutes at least, but I would only need 5 to make her wail in delight. Nick, although Nick does follow USC as well, and they're out there. Well, they're not really in LA. Specifically, they're in the city of Compton. Yes, out here in the city of Compton. There you go, the USC campus. It's a private school where it's all the rich people. George Lucas went there. It's the big film school. And then you go off the campus or you go away from the LA Memorial Coliseum where USC plays, where they've had all the LA Olympic events have happened there. And you go out of those direct jurisdictions and suddenly you are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge. Yes. Then it's the Compton we all know and love from Boys in the Hood and NWA. Then that's the Compton where roll them up in Compton, in a Compton. It makes it smother your mother and make your sister think I love her. Yes, and bro creep a while, and when I see him run past, I smile because I got that Jerry curl. I got that big, beautiful Jerry curl. But then I strap everything to go. Yeah, we all got to go. We got to go to Roscoe's. And then you know what Easy E am going to do? I'm going to go down to Melrose Avenue and go to a comic book signing by Rob Liefeld. Yeah, did you see that? It's available on YouTube. Someone's like, I think it was local news in LA about when Rob Liefeld did a signing at the famous Golden Apple Comics on Melrose Avenue, and there was a round-the-block line for it, and Eazy-E showed up to have his comic signed. I remember because Liefeld on his Instagram posted a photo. He got his photo taken with Eazy-E there when it happened. I think it was for like Eazy-E's birthday. He posted it of when when Eazy showed up. He wanted this big guy. I think this may have been after Rob Liefeld appeared on Dennis Miller's network talk show that lasted for a few months after he quit Saturday Night Live. And Liefeld went on there to promote Youngblood, and everyone in the crowd got a copy of Youngblood #1. There's and if anything, that was more on Dennis Miller not being the kind of guy to do network TV. And we've got Geek Avenger in the chat there. Yes, my stream, there was a Wi-Fi connection error, so I started over. That's why the stream is now going past my usual 1 hour time to make up for lost time. And hail the Geek Avenger there. Now maybe, and Geek Avenger is one of those where maybe in the future we'll be seeing him as a customer of mine. Maybe, or of course, remember, for all those out there, besides commissioning or purchasing my art, you can also simply make a donation of any dollar amount. Because the first thing you see in my Square store with the link pinned to the top of the chat is or donations, and you can donate any dollar amount you'd like in any denomination. Yes, if you're out there in Australia, you can donate. If you're in the UK, you can donate. If you're in Canada, you can donate. Whatever dollar amount, whatever convert from your currency to US, it's all good. Especially since I'm still waiting on the channel to be monetized, so I'm still waiting on the ability to have streams where then super chats would be available. So until then, it's all in the store. And it looks like Dead Punk Gage and is new that does not know, go right ahead. Since remember, this is a chat where I'm a stream where it's supposed to be for the comics are for everyone. Fandom is for everyone. I'm the opposite of the Kelly Sue DeConnick's or the Gail Simones who want people filled out based on where they lean politically or what this group or that group is like. That's not me. I'm the exact opposite of the Mark Waves, who is grateful to be working after years of practically threatening people. Or who I think it was Heather Antos, the cum dumpster herself, Heather Antos, who said, "Oh, remember anybody who voted the wrong way this election," referring to the 2016 election. And in your discriminatory bullcrap, all you wound up doing was giving a nice big tight group of people and a large group of fandom who either supported them in their views or simply just didn't want them to be made unemployable because of those views. And then guess what? The Jawbreakers makes $400,000 in Indiegogo on the back of Mark Waid going out of his way to bully the original legitimate publisher of Jawbreakers to pull the book from publication. So they went to Indiegogo to crowdfund it themselves and made $400,000. Then there's the $1.1 million crowdfunding of the first Cyberfrog book. So once again, for posterity, my favorite line from the movie Dogma, as said by Chris Rock, and this is addressed to all the people who got, your EVSs and your John Malins made unemployable in the mainstream. You just did him a favor, stupid. Now they have nobody between them and their readership. Yes, there is the extra responsibility of dealing with printers, of dealing with shipping costs and printing costs, and also of hiring people when it comes to the creative side of things, like dealing with a colorist or a letterer and all that. But all those extra responsibilities, that is just a challenge that they are willing to take on and put on, so that there is literally nothing between what they are doing and the audience directly ahead. Yes. Now, if anything, what they've proven is, further, you do not need to go and do what you have to do to beg and plead at conventions or in submissions online to go and work for these companies. Now you can go and you have to actually put in the elbow grease, the extra work to amass an internet, and particularly through YouTube right here, kind of crowd, kind of audience, and build that up, get them going, and you can go and get yourself an audience that will directly fund you. And Maybe Human says somehow he remembers Lex. He was a kid and looked too ridiculous. And Dead Punk Gage. Yes, Dead Punk Gage, my stream is back from the dead. Yes, I'm starting to go over since Nick will only be available during this time for 2 of the streams that are happening this week, so might as well go over, and especially since now I've got Geeks and Gamers and Fragtober and Joe M. Sontag to compete with, might as well make the exception. The technical error is not going to get in the way. I'm going to go and move and get people dancing and romancing. And also, yes, Huron, besides your announcement, how well did the 3rd date go? Specifically, we'd like to know. And what it was, oh yes, Huron saying, next time, Huron recommends to Christopher, the next time that Christopher's in LA, go to Philippes for the best French dip. Philippes, that's the name, if I'm saying the name right? Okay. And Huron, yes, Huron's father used to watch it. It was ridiculous. It's a ridiculous show, and that's why I love it. Finally getting to watch it, Lex. I heard about the show, but seeing it for myself, I'm so glad to see a science fiction show that really tries to be itself. It's not trying to be either an imitation of or some big grand subversion of Star Trek. It is a show with its own ideas, with its own universe, and compared to something like Farscape, which has a lot of weird ideas and a lot of strange creatures and plot lines, but the difference is that with Farscape, you still have that character where you have a human like audience surrogate character to relate to that has this whole world explained to them. But with Lex, on the other hand, the weirdness of the world, you have to go and just go along for the ride because the characters know what the world is like and they're out there discovering things, but they're still characters who are not out there to be exposition dumps to this strange world. And the irony about Nick and Christopher. Well, Nick, we all know about him, and yet he loves sushi. Well, I know that Nick does like to regularly enjoy. There is some nice upscale sushi place in his town, and I am literally down the street. There is a sushi place. It is literally down the street on the corner. There is a sushi place right there for me to go and enjoy. And that's and actually it is a sit-down place as well. And I have been there, and there are actually people who go there and sit down. And yes, it is the kind of sushi place that does have those wooden boats, those big wooden boats that they serve you like the really big elaborate meals on if you order a bunch of pieces of a bunch of different kinds. And they also have on the wall that old Japanese woodblock print of the wave, of the big crashing wave with in the background, the Mount Fuji. Yes, the great Japanese woodblock painter Hiroshige. I've got the giant coffee table book of his work for my birthday this year. Yeah, my birthday this year, I received that. It's a beautiful piece. And the work there, the kind of clean line, ligne clair, to use the French word, drawing style I've adopted, that work is beautifully connected to the Hiroshige style with the kind of drawing style I adopted. And here's one. And Geek Avenger knows the owner of his favorite sushi place, AA Sushi in Kirkland, Washington. All the way out there in Washington. That's but it's nice to know the depth and the scope of my audience. How far away or to or from me are my people? It's and now we know with Helen Grunau, if Helen's going to be coming back into the stream, I'm out there to the whole world. I've got people now in Australia as well. And here's one. And Nick loves that great wave painting, and the book with a boom boom has it on the cover. I own it and can't remember the name. Yes. Roll call for Luke. Yes. Geek Avengers out there in Seattle. And here's one. Both Huron and Nick both love sushi, and Nick Dead Punk Gage wants to bring about Farscape and First Wave are really good. I've heard of First Wave. I've seen some of Farscape. I remember the first time I heard of Farscape was the Sci-Fi Channel back when they were still kind of cool. When Farscape was originally airing, I remember there was one summer, the summer of sci-fi. They showed reruns of Babylon 5 and Tales from the Crypt. And during commercial breaks for those reruns, they showed, they would advertise Farscape was still on the air. And it looked cool, but I never did watch it. That's completely on me. And not to mention, it's a science fiction show that's a showcase for the work of the Jim Henson Creature Shop. how it took them that long to get a science fiction show off the ground when Jim Henson's people already had a fantasy show done. If anybody remembers the great fantasy show, it was a fairy tale anthology show that I believe was on Showtime in the 80s called The Storyteller. Yes. That one, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it, but it was a unique show. It was kind of like the Dark Crystal, the series. And Maybe Human says Sci-Fi Channel was cool. Sci-Fi Channel. Yes, the zombie. The zombie. Yes, First Wave. Nick brings up, it was New Agents or something and had the wave painting on the cover. Oh no, that was what Nick is referring to is Next Wave is the name of the comic book. Yes, Next Wave, that Boom Boom was in the Next Wave comic. That was done, but it was a Warren Ellis comic with Stuart Immonen in his cartoon drawing style that had like a Boom Boom was in the team. There also was a Monica Rambeau, I remember. And they actually, somebody there at Marvel, they recorded a song, a theme song for Next Wave. It's like Shakespeare, but with lots more punching. Look at the Next Wave. I can't remember all the lyrics, but Marvel did go. Nowadays, they're so damn cheap that they've got all this diversity hires that they can pay cheaply. But back in the day, they had the resources to go, and they actually went and hired a band to go and do a theme song for a comic book, for Next Wave. Yes. That included Boom Boom. There also was the part where Captain America's urine gets stolen by Hydra to try and reverse engineer the super soldier serum. And Sir Ubi-san coming into the chat, what part of drawing are you the most good at? Penciling, inking? I'm not good at coloring at all. I mean, that's why when it comes to my comic Tanya, I'm not sure if I'll be, I do not have the resources to really hire a colorist. That's why I was thinking of doing it in black and white and maybe with a color cover. Maybe I'd either like be able to color the cover myself or hire a colorist to at least color the cover, because when it comes to the whole printing and shipping, all the business financial things behind doing a crowdfunded comic, I do not know. So that's why I'm thinking of, all right, that would be something where maybe it would be like a crowdfunding, like a tier, would be able to then go and hire a colorist. Or Geek Avenger says Korolovich manga. Yes, well, that's something. It's not like doing comics in black and white is some foreign thing. I mean, most manga you see is done in black and white. There are the real major influence of foreign influence on my stuff is bande dessinée, the French comics, and not all French comic books are done in color. I mean, I've mentioned the Michael Moorcock library. That's the Titan Comics reprinting all the comic book adaptations of Michael Moorcock novels, and that includes the character Dorian Hawkmoon. And yes, this is the one that Nick sent me, The Swords of Heaven, The Flowers of Hell. This is actually an original comic book written by Michael Moorcock of one of his fantasy characters, Erakose. And yes, this is actually a painted comic. And Sir Ubi-san brings up the original Ninja Turtles comics were not done in color. They were black and white, yes. And don't forget, there's one of them in here, Hawkmoon. Yes, the Dorian Hawkmoon character. Those were the History of the Runestaff novels were starring Hawkmoon. They were adapted into comics as well. And those comics, I have seen them online, and they were done in black and white as well. And some of the work of the great Philippe Juliet and Jean Giraud were also printed in black and white. And who else? Nick brings up, so would you rather Tanya, Lady of the Blade, be in color or black and white? It would depend on how you've envisioned it. Well, the Geek Avenger, yes, this is Erakose, one version of the Eternal Champion. Hawkmoon is another one. Elric is the most famous one. There's also, he is not only an Eternal Champion, he is also the running back for University of Michigan football, Corum. Yes, Corum. Yes, Corum, the pirate, the one-eyed swordsman, the one-eyed Silverhand swordsman in the Crimson Cape, is also the star running back for University of Michigan football right now. That's why in the last couple of thumbnails for my college football videos, I've shown, yes, there's Corum right next to Corum as he's been seen in painted novel covers or in comic books over the years. And fun fact, there were 6 main Corum novels, but 4 of them, the first 4 got adapted into a comic book by First Comics back in the 80s. First Comics was the publisher of American Flag when it came out originally. And you know who drew the adaptation, drew those Quorum comics? It was a pre-Hellboy Mike Mignola. Yes, Mike Mignola, after he got his first real job taking over drawing Alpha Flight after John Byrne quit, but before Hellboy really made him a star, he drew Epic Comics' adaptation of the first 4 Quorum novels. And well, Huron of Alexandria is heading out. It was nice to see you for all this time. Hello to Huron. Hello to you. Hello to your big announcement. Hail that. Also, your 3rd date went well. Let's hope the dating keeps on going and keeps on going. Yes, Huron loves us all, and Huron, we love you back. So we'll see everyone else all later. And what's the... Here's one. Christopher says, Quorum for the Heisman. Yes. If this happens, I would like to see Quorum be the first incarnation of the Eternal Champion to also be a Heisman Trophy winner. But that would be one where Quorum would have to keep playing at an exceptional level because Michigan does not really have the kind of, backhanded deals and massive preemptive hype to get the kind of Heisman prospects that SEC teams just get handed to them months upon months ahead of time. There are SEC players who are getting talked about for Heisman prospects in January. Yeah. Or maybe Human declares, remove all sports out of fantasy stories. There was a reason they cut Kryborg's football history from the Justice League movie. Nobody cares when watching a fantasy story. Well, there was Quidditch in Harry Potter, and there was Arrow Ball. I think Motor Ball in what was it? Oh yes, Alita Battle Angel. And don't forget, one of these science fiction films of the 70s was all built around a fictional sport, rollerball. Yes, the 70s craze of roller derby, they extrapolated upon that into doing a science fiction dystopia with the James Caan classic Rollerball back in the 70s, which got remade. In a remake, I only remember because I remember seeing the trailers for it and for the weird casting of Rollerball having Rebecca Romijn and LL Cool J in it. And also the announcer for Rollerball in the remake was Paul Heyman. Yes, Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was the announcer in the Rollerball remake, and that came out like the summer after ECW went bankrupt. But maybe Human, no, Spaceballs was not about bowling. We did not see the bowling in the Spaceballs. Maybe in the future there will be a Spaceball remake. Yes. My name is Paul Heyman. It's time to play Rollerball. That's what I remember. Yes. And the weird thing also, in another major difference between Rollerball, the original James Caan film, and Rollerball, the remake, was in the original version, they had Toccata and Fugue in D minor as like the main theme of the movie. That's a piece of classical music. And if you don't know what Toccata and Fugue in D minor is without explaining it to you, I know this stuff secondhand because my mother, classically was a formerly trained flute player, made us all watch Fantasia and like orchestral performance and all that. So Toccata and Fugue in D minor is that classical music piece that you see, the classical music that they play when they want public domain scary music for like horror themed stuff, like at Party City commercials, or if there's like a local business that has a classical music piece over it, it's that one. It's the one at the beginning of Fantasia. Yes, that's the theme to Rollerball. And then the Rollerball remake, it was early 2000s, so it's a lot of new metal. And Nick says, Fantasia was great. We had to watch it in music class in school a lot. Well, my mother had the VHS, and she just made us watch it. As like I said, she made us all learn an instrument that us all watch Fantasia. And I have Disney Plus. I could watch Fantasia. The one thing, though, I want to see is Fantasia 2000. When I watched the Disney Channel religiously, all the new big movies they would do, they always had the big like bumpers in between their Disney Channel broadcasts where they would have the little clips of that show Movie Surfers, and they had the making of Fantasia 2000. It was Fantasia 2000 over and over and over, but I never actually saw Fantasia 2000. So maybe that's one I'll see first, since I've not seen Fantasia 2000 at all. I know that's the one where the openings, the little intros to every little cartoon piece is done with a celebrity. There's like Bette Midler and there's Steve Martin involved. I think Penn and Teller are also there. And I remember also in that they had a short that was actually, they had Disney, of all people, hired Salvador Dali to work on a cartoon short. And they didn't wind up producing this short that Salvador Dali was developing. But what they did for Fantasia 2000 was they took all the archived production artwork, all the storyboards and concept art that Dali had done when he got hired by Disney to direct a short for them. And they wound up doing it and actually making this Salvador Dali short as part of Fantasia 2000, I remember. There also was one where we see whales flying through the air, and also a Noah's Ark, but it's Donald Duck as Noah. Yes, with a Pomp and Circumstance. Pomp and Circumstance, that's the piece you hear at school graduations. Yes, and somehow graduating school is the same thing as Donald Duck as Noah leading all the animals into the Ark. And also, my wrestling fans out there would know Pomp and Circumstance as the entrance theme for Macho Man. Yes. You do get that. So you're either reminded of graduating high school or of Macho Man at WrestleMania 4 finally winning the title with Miss Elizabeth up on his shoulder, and there's Hogan putting his hand up in the air. Yes. Macho Man. Could you imagine, how about that? How about you redo that Noah bit from Fantasia 2000, but you do it with Macho Man as Noah instead of Donald Duck? I do say here, there's going to be a great flood. Oh, yeah. And it's going to flood all over the world. And now the good Lord himself has given me a little quest. I am going to go and make myself an ark with two of every animal. Two of every animal. Oh, yeah. Just me and Miss Elizabeth. We're going to go and we are going to make a little world of two of every animal to make sure the world survives. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do for food? You know what I'm going to do to have some sustenance while keeping the animals safe in the ark? I am going to snap you, Slim Jim. You didn't really think that Slim Jims are made out of any kind of real human animal meat in the world? Hell no. It was the original meat substitute. And you know what my Slim Jims are made of? Recycled fecal matter from me and Miss Elizabeth. We take it, we process it down into the Slim Jims, and then we snap into it. No, I don't want any Slim Jims. Yeah. No. But if you want any, raise your hands. Who ever ate a Slim Jim? I tried a Slim Jim once because of Macho Man, and I didn't like it. And those kind of like meat products like that, I usually liked back then. But what does it say about Slim Jims? And even I hated the Slim Jim. I mean, there's with the new no red meat diet, probably you won't be seeing me packing any beef jerky for like being on the road, or for like, say, there's the convention coming up for the Motor City Comic Con. You probably won't be seeing me packing of like beef jerky or anything. Although there is actually there on the floor of the convention center there, at Suburban Collection Show places where it's happening, they do have this stand where it's this local company that has their own like beef jerky and their own equivalent to Slim Jims in different flavors. So there is that. And there's also like a kind of its own version of like a Jamba Juice or like an Orange Julius that's run by this lady, and they have like mango and strawberry, those type of flavors. I'd say go with that, because that makes for like a good substitute for a meal, like a good smoothie like that. And so now we've got an answer. Guilty Gearhead never tried a Slim Jim. Dead Punk Age says once and hated it. And here, Geek Avenger recommends the meat from Memphis. This Mrs. gets them at Costco. The Mrs. gets meat from Costco, like Slim Jims, but really good meat. I know earlier during the chat for my during the chat. Let's see. Now that we're done, let's move on up a bit. Go up in here and reframe. Yes. Yes, during that chat, it was, I believe, it was Nick who asked about where I went shopping. And yes, Walmart has everything,
but I haven't shopped at Walmart. I haven't been to a Walmart in 5 years. I shopped there once. And also, Nick has the answer. Nick, as a child, liked Slim Jims. That's all right. So we've got, now the vote would be, we've got a never, we've got a Dead Punk hated it. I tried it once, hated it. So that's 2 for there. And Nick says yes. Well, yes to liking Slim Jims. To you, Geek Avenger, did you like Slim Jims at all? Because yes, Walmart does pretty much have everything, and that's the distance from there is not that far away. And the thing is, the nearest Walmart, it's in the same like strip mall section with a Kroger around here. Yes, it's right down from this from this Kroger. It's not the Kroger I shop at, but it's also nearby. But there's another one that I prefer to go into. Well, Geek Avenger says no, he doesn't like them because they're too processed. Well, then maybe my Macho Man theory about it being recycled from human feces, that might be the case. It's the same thing with like certain chains of pizza chains, like what was it, Pizza Hut? Well, they're a sit-down place, so they tried a little bit more. Papa John's, well, Papa John's, they were built on the back of prioritizing them having better ingredients. So I would say with them, if you're going to go with one of the big chains, I would say go with Papa John's. I haven't had Papa John's. I think that's another one where I haven't been to a Walmart in 5 years, and I haven't been to a Papa John's in 5 years. Maybe it'll be a thing where you, the viewers out there, can get me to go and do. Maybe I can do like a stream of it or a video of it. Of Luke goes to Papa John's, Luke tries Papa John's, or maybe a video of me going to a Walmart to shop. That's one of the things about getting the channel being approved to be monetized, besides the super chats and all that, and video views and streaming and viewing hours of all that, getting there's that, but also there's the channel memberships, and maybe that'll be some members only content. It'll be maybe a members only video or members only stream of me going to Walmart. And Nick wants me to go and. It's not that I've never had Papa John's before. I've had it and I've always liked it. It's just I haven't had it in a good long while. And considering my sinuses, the complimentary jalapeno pepper that comes with Papa John's, it'd probably be good for me to try one of those. How intense is a jalapeno pepper? Because the time I have tried the jalapeno, and just like putting it close is like, oh. Is like that is, but considering my messed up sinuses with a broken nose I have, that's probably a good thing. Or Geek Avenger wants me to Google poop burger. I'll go Google that, but it'll be her funeral. And here's one. Yes. And Guilty Gear brings up, yes, the original founder of Papa John's. Yeah, he's not even the owner anymore. So now I wonder if the ingredients of all that, I wonder if they've changed. There's also other ones like Jets is a chain that is around here in the state of Michigan. Like there's a couple around here that are you can. I don't think they're a takeout place. Either you take out or you go and order it. Like Little Caesars, I think Little Caesars is exclusively you walk up to and take out. And I haven't had Little Caesars in a good long while as well. But Papa John's is really the big one. Oh, for me, actually, for anything, I've grown to like spicy foods. I need the peppers. Like Thai is another one where the thing is, so Thai is, they're too intense. Like when it comes to ordering Thai and you get the mild, for me, getting the mild Thai order is like, I like it, but also when I first bite into it, it's like when Roger Rabbit has whiskey. If you remember, it's the changing the colors, then the tea kettle exploding. That's me. But I go through it and it's good because it really does help. It's intense, actually to the point where it can be so intense I can make 2 meals out of it. I can only eat half of it. So I'll go and it'll be dinner then and it'll be dinner the next night. And maybe then with the second time, it'll go and, now, okay, at the very least, I can breathe through both my nostrils. I do love them. That's why I said about the best part of Domino's is their wings. You can get the wings regular, or you can get the wings with the kind of spice on them, the hot. And if anything, yeah, the hot would help. And I'm also walking distance from a Detroit wing company, but they are overpriced to the max. That's a matter of, yeah, count me out on that. I'll just go and order the wings from Domino's if I'm in the mood for that. Or, like I mentioned, Papa John's has been a good long while since there. And I'm not even sure if Pizza Hut delivers.
But the Papa John's, that's one where I'm more interested in them. Or maybe there's also real places I know for sure are local. There is Cloverleaf, which was started in the 1940s, and the one that started before them, which is like the big locally praised place, is called Buddy's. Yes, Buddy's Pizzeria. It's been open since I believe the early 1940s, and it's been around and around and around. And when you enter there, they have the entrance. The walls are covered in all of these framed copies of these different magazines and different newspapers that have praised them, that have praised Buddy's over the years. And they deliver. I think it's through the Uber Eats or the DoorDash. They don't have their own delivery people like a big chain like a Papa John's or a Domino's has their own delivery people. Although they also are on those Eats the DoorDash place now. And yes, Pizza Hut has good wings. I've never tried them. With the Pizza Hut, I always go for what's in the name. But with Domino's, it's the wings that are the best for me. It's I agree with the nostalgia critics' joke about the Noid in those commercials that Domino's ad. Well, if it's so great, then why Domino's? When it comes to the Noid and how it's the Noid is always going after pizza places and it wants to ruin them. But why going after Domino's and failing? Isn't it pretty much just the Domino's is remembered for having catchy advertising slogans or having good characters like the Noid, which the Noid got so popular that the Noid appeared in the Michael Jackson Moonwalker movie and also got its own video game. And the animation in the beautiful claymation that was done by the same guy who did the claymation for the Michael Jackson Speed Demon video. And no wonder he included the Noid in there. Speed Demon. I'm going for the boat, but the with the lyrics it's hard to understand. And a lot of it is with Michael Jackson. You can't really, it's hard to understand him. I'm not the only person to probably have a time where you're wondering, what is Michael saying? What is he saying? Michael, what are you saying? Michael, what? What's going on? What's going on here? Michael, are you sure about that? But slow down. Picture if they did with like Pizza Hut or Domino's or Papa John's what they did with the Pepsi with Michael Jackson. The Pepsi ad where they set his head on fire, where they took Billie Jean and put the lyrics, they put the slogan in there of "Join the Pepsi generation." That's the commercial that has Alfonso Ribeiro Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in it with Jackson and a bunch of other kids dance with Jackson. And that's one where, his hair set on fire. And in the good old state of Washington, Geek Avenger says here, meaning Seattle in Washington, they have a chain called Wing Dome. They have 7 of their 5. They have one. Eat 7 of their 5-alarm wings in half an hour, and you win a shirt and bragging rights. It's kind of like the wing equivalent of those places down in Texas, where if you can eat like the 10-pound steak in under an hour, you win. Your family eats for free. It's 6 pounds. Oh no, it's 6 pounds. If you can eat a 72-ounce steak in under an hour, your family eats for free. It's this place in Texas. It's a big like Texas kind of roadhouse kind of chain. It's called the Big Texas. Yes, the Big Texan. The Big Texan. It's down there deep in the heart of JR country, Texas. JR either of Dallas, JR Ewing, or JR of wrestling. And if you can eat like the 72-ounce steak in under an hour, your family eats for free. And of course, Dead Punk Gage does know to avoid the Noid. Avoid the Noid, and hey, would anybody interested in me drawing the Noid? Because the Noid is a funny guy. He's a legendary character. But is the Noid something that would be worth it me drawing? And, and Guilty Gearhead is sorry he doesn't know the reference. Well, those Noid commercials with the Pizza Hut, Domino's, they were popular in the late 80s. Like, I know them by osmosis, from Culture of Osmosis, of seeing shows like those VH1's I Love This series. They did one of those episodes. They talked about the Noid. Here's one, the Texas, the Big Texan. It's a saloon-style steakhouse, and it offers patrons a 72-ounce steak challenge and a souvenir gift shop. They have dine-in and drive-through, and they also deliver. And they're out there in Amarillo, Texas. for anyone who wants to know. And maybe human never heard of the Noid and had to look it up. It's super old. Well, it's the late 80s. So, like, I know it from, here's one. Who is moaning in pain, dying in the background? That is not moaning in pain. That is an off-camera gentleman. And he's not dying in the background. He was just telling me about the big Texan out there with the 72-ounce steak offer. And yes, it was the Noid t-shirts were great, according to Geek Avenger. That's something where, oh yes, Family Guy did that reference with the Noid of, if I see the Noid, I'll snap his neck. And Adam West, the mayor of Family Guy, orders Domino's. The Noid shows up, and he does snap the Noid's neck. It appears maybe the Noid should have avoided me. Oh, yes. Anybody ever notice that with Adam West, he always sounds like he's about to have an orgasm when he speaks? There's something about Adam West's voice. Wait, hold on. I got to hydrate out there so I don't be like a crackhead. I ain't gonna be a crackhead. I'm the Ripper. I got the Ripper verse. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's like Marlon Brando, or as Nick brought up, Marlon Brando. As I thought about him, the fairy Godfather. Oh yeah. Now I see out there, Aaron Judge now scored his 62nd home run of the season. Aaron Judge now is a home run king, having hit 62 home runs in the season. But I want you to know, Sonny, you may think of yourself as being neglected because you are not my firstborn. You are still my son. You are my family. You are my flesh and blood. You will help in keeping the Corleone name to go and develop and last beyond my lifetime. So in that, me having my loyalty to you, Sonny, I just want to know, Sonny, as I am the fairy Godfather, does this gun holster make my ass look big? Because I've been very concerned about whether my ass looks big with this gun holster. I've been trying to keep down on all the cannoli. I've been noticing that I've been getting some love handles, and I'm starting to look out there like I'm starting to develop a bit of a badunkadunk butt. And I do not appreciate having that. For everybody out there that works for the Corleone family, they come to me and expect of me leadership and compassion and loyalty to lead our family further and further and further down. And in doing that, I cannot be a man who looks like a fatty patty. A fatty patty is never going to be running this family, Sonny. That's why I had you and Fredo and Michael all out there trying out for baseball and playing in football and maybe even a little bit of wrestling. But I think that was more for my amusement of wanting to see you all in the wrestling tights, throttling each other all over the place. And that is why I look to you, my son, my precious son, a son that I do love. You're my middle child, but you are still my child. You will always be my child, Sonny. And I will always want to raise you with honor, so you to carry the family name with that same honor. And in doing that, I will now finally take you up on that CrossFit thing you've been telling me about. Maybe if I do go and take up that gym membership you've been offering me, and maybe go and seriously work, I will lose this fat ass, and I will regain my 6-pack abs. I will go, and I will do it. And I will finally lead the family in the best way I ever will as the fairy Godfather. On this, the day of my daughter's wedding, I'm going to make you an offer you can't refuse. And I'd also like to remind you all, I'm doing that without putting Kleenexes in my mouth. That was the thing that Brando did for the Godfather voice, was he put the tissues in his mouth. I don't know why he did that, but when John Belushi on Saturday Night Live would do the Godfather impression, he replicated that. And if anybody's ever seen, or if anybody remembers the John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd comedy 1941, the big World War II comedy that he did with Spielberg, there was a brief cameo where you see John Belushi reprising his Godfather impression. He's there sitting with a spaghetti dinner for like a second. Yes. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody on American Idol. Here's then. And
Here's one. Most of you folks don't have to deal with the acoustic. Yes. Your favorites come first. And there's Michael Corleone right there. But now I see it's getting to that time of the hour. The droopy dog imitation. I sometimes use it over the PA at work, says Geek Avenger. Okay. Yeah. Very well, sir. Have a good time, sir. And with this, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, besides, check that you're still subscribed. And remember, shopping in my online art store, my Square store, is the best way to support my work. The link is pinned to the top of the chat. The link is also the first one in the description below, where pen and ink pieces like Zev I did here are $25. My color drawings are for sale as well for $20 plus shipping like this. And do not forget, my sketchbooks are also for sale at $25 at any size or shape. My sketchbooks are only $25. You can also commission a pen and ink piece for $50, a color drawing for $25, or a trading card for $20. And they're the last items available in my pen illustration categories, my color drawing categories, or in my Coffee Sleeve Super Babes category. Don't forget, you can also donate any dollar amount you'd like to support me. Donations can come in any denomination from around the world. Or remember, whatever you buy in the store only comes with a flat shipping and handling fee. If you get one or several things, it only comes with a flat $5 shipping fee. Or if you live outside of the US, remember my store cannot receive orders for items outside of the US, so you would have to buy or commission via a donation. Simply donate the price of the items you want with an extra $25 US included for the international shipping fee. And besides that, I'm going to be live again at 10, and I'll have a new premiere video at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. So until then, I thank you all for watching. I thank to everybody who came back for the second round of the stream, to Nick, to Relentless, to Christopher, Dead Punk Gage, to now Bella, Maddie, Mama, also to who else? I mentioned Helen Grunau and Dead Punk Gage, as well as Shiron of Alexandria. Congratulations with you and all that. And remember, felines, slam it, lick it, suck it, and see you, Space Cowboy.